Welcome to Gulfstream today. Welcome to beautiful Gulfstream Park. Ron Nicoletti along with Acacia Courtney. It is Thursday afternoon. Beautiful day in South Florida. Fast main track, firm turf course. Breezy conditions makes it real comfortable here. We got a carryover in the Rainbow Six we'll tell you about in just a couple of moments, but want to remind everybody, this being Thursday, I always remember this, if it's Thursday, it means Friday. It's Beat the Expert Day, and it's your turn. They whooped me last week.
The amazing thing about Thursday is that it is followed by Friday, and it is Beat the Expert. I'm up, so hopefully, you had a couple good winners, Ron, and, that's the thing about Beat the Expert Day is that we never cheer so much for favorites as we do on Beat the Expert Day. If it's 4 to 5, that's great, because a win is a win on Beat the Expert Day. But you have until first post, 12:55 p.m. to get your picks in. 10 races on tomorrow's card. See if you can pick more winners than me.
Yeah, and hashtag Beat the Expert. Let us know you're playing, and it's always good. You got there's polo shirt. Don't want to say T-shirt. You can't. Polo shirts are pretty sharp with Beat the Expert right on the sleeve. Now we'll tell you about today's wagering menu, and we started off today with the Super High Five in race number 1 with over $2,000 in that pool. In any race that we have 7 or more participants, we have the rolling Super High Five. So starting with a carryover today, and of course we have 2 pick fives every day, and the first one starts in race number 1, and Acacia will show you her ticket in just a couple of moments.
I will take a stab at it, and then we move to the Rainbow Six. You alluded to that carryover. 23,852 is the carryover. That starts in race number 5 today, as we do have 10 races on the card. And then we cap it off in the 6th race with the second of the 2 pick fives, just a 50-cent wager. I'll take a look at the pick fives as always, and Ron will have his Rainbow Six ticket.
Let's see if we can get that done today and bring home a winner. The first race this afternoon, 5 furlongs on the turf, claim is 3 and up, non-winners of 2 races in life, $12,500. And let's take a look at Acacia's pick 5 ticket.
Okay, we'll give you a peek at my ticket to start things off. Now, we did have some scratches, so you see that all in the 4th race. It ended up just being a 4-horse field, so I just took all 4 of them. So going to go a little bit light earlier on in the card, just 2x2x2. 4 with the all button in the 4th race and 3 in the 5th. $48 for me.
Yeah, 4-horse field, always good to take all because you never know who's going to jump up and get it, and it doesn't really expand the price of the ticket too much. So good thinking on your part with that 4-horse field, and we'll get to that race a little later on, but we're going to start it with race number 1 in here, and we both have the number 2, Father Love, on top of our ticket, who's currently up there at 8-1, but very early in the wagering. This one is stepping up to the next logical level after responding to both a drop down in competition and a surface switch. Really solid 12-5 maiden score going 5 furlongs.
It was, and that was his first start on the turf as well. What I think was really encouraging about that is that, first of all, he showed such a better follow-through and so much more speed last time out. Now he does have 10-pound apprentice Abby Medina in the saddle. He probably will be forwardly placed, especially from that inside post in here, and I just thought he really could run away from the rest of the field. The number 7 to the outside key, the Storm, does have some speed as well, but I don't think that he has such legitimate speed. It's kind of a questionable pace scenario in this first race, so that is why I did prefer Father Love. He's 7-2 in the morning line. Probably will go down as we get closer to race time.
Before I show you the performance of the 3-horse Grand Junior we're having second, we'll go with the 5 because that's the one you used on your ticket. That's El Rustico. He's going to face winners at this 5-furlong distance. First start since breaking his maiden here last July against 20,000 types, going a mile in his 16, but he's trained sharply.
He's been training very sharply, and that is what I like. So he's turning back in distance, the shortest that he has gone, and his race back in July where he won last time out against maiden $20,000 types was very impressive. He won by 6.5 lengths that day. So now it's off of a layoff. It's been about 9 months, and he is turning back in distance, but that sharp work tab really was what intrigued me. You see 4 furlongs and 47-1 and 45-3 right before that. So it looks like he's coming in very sharp.
Well, we've been trying to get Grand Junior home to notch that second career victory. This one, hoping for a clean trip. I want to go back and show you the performance of Grand Junior. This horse, as he's turning for home. You're going to see it. Well, you could start it rolling there. He is the number 2 horse in there. You just see we'll stop it right there. It's hard to see him right there, but he is right there, and you can see he's behind horses. So we'll let it roll now, and we'll just let it roll there, and let me get rid of that thing. And you see, just looking for racing room now. Now he's going to find a seam, and he's going to close rather well. And you're going to see him here going on the inside. We'll stop it there, right there, and you will see him right there. Again, we'll get that old arrow up in there. Let's get this arrow in there. There you see him right behind there. And now we're going to just let it run to the wire. And I think he just gets beat a neck in this race. You'll see him finish up really nicely. But, as I mentioned, 1 for 22, and this was his best chance. He was flying at the end. You saw that trouble a little earlier on, and I just thought he ran a great race that afternoon.
He did. He closed very well. His last 2 races have been very strong, and he's, Beyer speed figure-wise, he certainly does stand out on paper, and in addition to the way that he's finished in his last 2, that second career victory certainly has been elusive. He's 1 for 22 on form. Now, he was very rank early on in the race, and he didn't really settle, which I didn't really like to see from him. When he did finally kick into the race at the end, unfortunately, it was just way too late as the winner was far ahead of the rest of the field. So he will be an interesting one for me today. You and I talked about this. I went back and forth about trying to make my ticket a little bit more expensive, and using him in the pick 5, decided to just go too deep.
Yeah, I mean, he's 1 for 22, so there's excuses all the time.
Yeah.
But that, I thought, was one of his better performances.
Absolutely.
And I think if he gets a clean trip, he would have a shot this afternoon. Race number 2 is a 1-mile turf event. Claimers, fillies and mares, 4 and up, $12,500. And we have a nice field here of 7 runners. So we'll still have rolling super high fives going into race number 2. And we both used the number 7, Yum Yum.
Which is a pretty fun name to talk about as well. But dropping in class, shipping in from the fairgrounds. And we've been kind of looking about how horses shipping in from the Louisiana area have been able to transfer their form here at Gulfstream. And all in all, they've been able to be pretty successful here. But I do think that the drop in class after that win last time out might be beneficial. He is facing open company now as well after notching the non-winners of 3 last time. First off the claim for Run for Show. And it was a nice performance.
Yeah, I'm going to go back and show you just him turning for home in the particular race. And he does. You'll see him here. And this day, he is the number 8. You're going to see him there. He's circled. We'll let it start running. And what I wanted to show is, you know, we'll stop it right here. And you'll see right here, he is 6 wide turning for home. So I just thought, yeah, now we'll let it roll, and you'll just see he comes over, and he's still able to get the win. He looks like he ran an extra 16th of a mile almost, and he just keeps coming as you see him right there. So I just thought it was a good performance, and you're absolutely right. The horses from the fairgrounds, we didn't know what to expect. They've been running well, and there you see the 8. It comes up, and he gets the job done, and I just thought he did it very professionally, and just wanted to go back and show you. And we've been mentioning it since the start of the spring summer meet. Watch how these horses run, and he's still able to hold on to get it done by that head.
He was able to hold on, and there was a horse closing outside of him, but he was not nearly as wide on the turn as Yum Yum was. And so, especially all of that ground that he lost at that point in the race, I do think that he is the one to respect in here. But Fearless Princess has been in pretty good form lately. Last 3 races, I think, were very strong from this mare. She's been pretty consistent. She is taking a slight drop in class. She's been running at the $16,000 level on the turf, but I think you do have to respect her off of those last 3 races.
Yeah, and you know, Yum Yum coming in to try the turf course here. This is a 4-time winner on the local turf course for all the reasons you mentioned, dropping a notch on the claiming scale, trio of solid efforts at the 16 level, logical contender. No way can you single a horse like the 7 Yum Yum in there. I went with the number 2 and 3rd, and that's Summers Back, who's turning back to this mile, rallied 5 wide to defeat 16 claimers going a mile into 16th. Francisco D'Angelo, pretty solid winning consecutive races, not an outstanding number, but 10%. And I think this horse, off that last performance, deserves a shot. I mean, you got him on your ticket, too. It's just we have our 3rd and 4th horses flip-flop.
I do respect her. I did use the number 4, Who's That Chick? Nick Juarez climbing in the saddle, another one taking a little bit of a drop. Now, Fearless Princess and Summers Back do kind of take turns beating each other in their last couple of starts. So I thought Who's That Chick? A little bit of a drop down, and maybe with the rider switch, might be more forwardly placed here, too.
Well, let's go to race 3. 6 furlongs, claimers 3 and up, non-winners of 2 in life, or 3-year-olds, 12-5. Big, overwhelming morning line favorite in here is the number 3, Gone Jack. And you did not put him on top, and sort of proud of you that you didn't do that. You got Bit of Magic on top.
I do. Well, let's start with Gone Jack. I did use him on the pick 5 ticket, but what I don't like is last time out, he was bet down 20 cents to the dollar. He should absolutely have won that race. It was not a super tough field, and 58 OG did end up getting the win over him. 58 OG did not have to win that race, whereas it looked like it was Gone Jack's race to lose. And he did end up losing as such a heavy favorite. I mean, 20 cents to the dollar. And we'll show a stat on trainer Milt Wolfson in the past 5 years. Just looking at dirt sprints at the main and claiming level, at the mid-level claiming, just 3 for 40, 8%, and it is a negative ROI of just 74 cents, 40% of the time in the money. This horse is not the most consistent type, and he did win very impressively 2 starts back in his first start for the barn. Yes, at the mid-level claiming scale, but after being beaten last time, I had to look elsewhere.
Yeah, you know, and I could understand that. I was a little surprised to see 3 to 5 on the board. I mean, I put him on top, but I would never leave the one-off Bit of Magic, who you used on top, who's dropping to this 12-5 level, followed his commanding $16,000 maiden score at Tampa with a 4th place finish. But that's against 32 optional claimers going 5.5 furlongs. Also upstate, Kathleen O'Connell, Nick Juarez in the saddle. Lots to like about this horse on the drop.
I really like this horse in this spot, and I like him even more if he's going to be anywhere near that 8-1 on the morning line. I don't know about the drop if you'll really get that. His only race at Gulfstream Park was when he first debuted. That was back in June of 2016. He's been running at Tampa consistently, but Kathleen O'Connell does an excellent job with the horses she ships from Tampa. She knows both tracks very well, and she always places them in the right spot. So I do have faith on Bit of Magic. I think he can sit a perfect stalking trip on the rail behind the speed probably set by Vivid Image and Diamond Mint and even Silver Spun as well. I just think tactically it'll really set up for him, and he should class up.
Well, number 6, Last Prize, goes from the inside to the outside duel throughout, finished second. Jorge Navarro, apprentice Manny Jimenez. One's going.
Yes, he probably will go as well. So that's even more so that I do like the tactical advantage of Bit of Magic from the rail with a little bit of speed in that race.
I was proud of her not picking the favorite in the last race, but she took all in this next race coming up. It's a 1-mile turf claimer, fillies and mares 4 and up, $20,000. And here's why. Scratch the 1, Yes Magnolia, the 3, Harbor Jedi, and the number 5, Felina's Song. And please note there is a jockey change on the 4-horse in there. Make the Riders C.J. McMahon will ride the number 4 in here. And all along, I had the 6, thinking of Mom on top of my ticket.
So did I. I was a big fan of this horse in this spot, and just think that she's probably sitting on a winning performance. She's a classy 6-year-old mare. She's had some really nice races to her, a hard-knocking type, and her last race was actually pretty decent against $25,000 starter optional claiming types. She was beaten by Vendita, who did come back to win again. Has been really game and in good form in her past couple of starts, so she takes that drop in class. Interesting, I was looking for some stats for the barn. Fernando Abreu, second off the claim at Turf Roots. He's actually only has 2 horses that have done this in his barn, but one's been a win and the other one's finished second.
I'm giving you some homework right now with the number 4, Not a Mizzen Beat. This one, another Fairgrounds shipper, debuts locally. He set the pace, and he got caught late when finishing 3rd behind that second race participant who we showed you, Yum Yum. That was going a mile on the turf. I think he used that earlier race as a handicapping guide, see how the horse runs, and that's the homework you got. Maybe you add this one or move him further up on your ticket.
And maybe it is. And showed some speed on the turf, and not so much on the dirt, but does seem to be forwardly placed on the turf as well. The 7 Cajun Queen, first off the claim for Herman Walensky. Tyler Gaffleone going to be in the saddle. This is a horse she's just kind of found a bit of trouble in some of her recent starts, but she is one I do respect.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, the Rainbow 6, and it starts with the 2-year-olds today.
At ExpressBet, we celebrate the champions that make horse racing great. That's why we provide more ways to bet from more places than ever. We've built an entire family of brands to give players more of the rewards they deserve, give bettors the information they need to win, and provide a community for horse bettors. Because the best way to support the champions of horse racing is to champion horse racing. ExpressBet, we are racing.
race number 5 this afternoon, 4 1/2 furlongs, maiden special weight 2-year-olds. It's the boys' chance to start their career here in race number 5. Kicks off the Rainbow Six. What I like about having this, the first leg of the Rainbow Six, you get to look at the horses as they come out and parade around, whether you're here on site or around the country. We got a great video crew. You get to see these 2-year-olds, and you got to add them or take them off your ticket. With that said, let's see my Rainbow Six ticket here, and $43.20. And reverse. Finally, in the last race, I got my single today, and it's the number 6 from the Mike Maker barn. I just thought this was the logical choice. I kept going back, chasing the dream. So I was able to go deeper on the top part of the card I thought was wide open. And I'm going to try and get there and then have my single in the last.
I like it. And you bring up a good point about having the 2-year-olds start things off. That did seem to be to the benefit yesterday with an upset winner, a little bit of a price yesterday with the fillies, but maybe taking a good look at them and just see who's behaving themselves, too, is a good sign.
How did you start this one?
All right, well, I did go with one from the Ralph Nix barn, as you did as well. Slacks, of course, a pretty clever name by Awesome, of course, out of Lady in a Red Dress. And this horse, he's nicely bred. He is a full brother to multiple stakes winner and Grade 3 place Red Bud Road. Also a full brother to Grade 3 winner Dogwood Trail, who did win first out. A really nice horse there out of a stakes winning mare. Very sharp work tab as well. Ralph Nix had a filly, a first-time starter 2-year-old yesterday, ran a hard-fought second. So that is the one that I landed on. We'll show a stat quickly on Ralph Nix with 2-year-old first-time starters at the maiden special weight level at Gulfstream. This does apply to Slacks, of course, and the 3 Jimmy I Don't Know Ya. 30% win, 70% in the money, a nearly even ROI of 199. That ROI shifted just a little bit after that second place finish yesterday.
Second place finish yesterday, and Slacks, of course, you know, you're always concerned with 2-year-olds breaking from the rail, but I like the fact that this one's got a sharp 3 furlong, great work, so it looks like he'll be able to get out of the starting gate in a timely fashion. I like the 6 and second. That's Rocky Strange. He's by a sire that produces 2-year-old first-time starters at a 20% rate, 8 for 41. So debuts for trainer Stanley Gold, a trio of useful workouts showing over the track. Now this son of Lonhro, Edgar Zayas in the saddle. A lot of horses that Wesley Ward start as 2-year-olds are Lonhro. So that number might be a little skewed because he does exceptionally well with his 2-year-old first-time starters.
He does, and Stanley Gold has some sharp works in this one. Out of a stakes-placed Danzig mare, and going to see Edgar Zayas in the saddle. I certainly respect that horse as well. I did also use the other Ralph Nix runner, the 3 Jimmy I Don't Know Ya. This is the first full for multiple stakes place winning Dam. She did win at first asking as well, so some precocity on the bottom side.
Let's go to race number 6, 7 1/2 furlongs on the turf. Claimers, fillies, mares, 3 and up, non-winners of 2 in life. And this is where we start our final pick 5 of the day. And Acacia's going to show you her ticket.
I'll take it away now, Ron. And this is interesting because I have the same single as you, which so very rarely happens.
You should have seen my face.
I know, actually the best bet of the day for me. So that's going to be my single in the last with Chasing the Dream. Actually 7-2 in the morning line. We'll see if we can get that one home in the finale. I wanted to spread in the first leg with 4, 2, 4, 3 in the 9th, and then single in the last.
Yeah, I went with the 8 horse on top in here, Beauty of the Day, who has run well against better on the turf in the past, now goes back to the grass this afternoon, rallied to finish second when facing this level of competition. That was 7 furlongs on the main track. I'm going back on those previous performances. I thought I'd get a little bit of a price. Elizabeth Doble's doing a great job. Tyler Gaffleone handling that surface switch.
She really has, and had some sharp claims as well. Now, this filly has just been a head scratcher recently because they've tried her on the dirt and tried her on the turf and at a bunch of different levels with the previous connections and with the new connections. And I still don't know what surface she's better on. I really actually thought for a while she might be stronger on the dirt. And then now she is going back to the turf. She does stay at this level on the turf. Her last turf race was actually in Stakes Company in the Mrs. Presidenta, so it is a considerable drop in class just based on the grass form. I respected her. I used her on the pick 5 ticket. If you remember, I used 4. Just had to use her a little bit further down because she's a head scratcher.
Well, the one you put on top, I have a third, and that's Little Shade, who's dropping to this 12-5 level.
And we'll show a trainer stat on Carlo Vecker as in the past 5 years. After a 31 to 60 day layoff on the turf at the mid-level claiming, not the biggest sample size, which I like, but strong numbers. 4 for 17, 24% win, 41% in the money, positive ROI of 221. I think that the class strap is going to be key for this one. And if you look at her start 2 starts back, she was beaten just ahead against a little bit tougher competition, $25,000 claiming. And the apprentice at the time, Carlos Hernandez, did actually lose his whip in the stretch, and he was just asking her in kind of a hand ride, and she was only beaten ahead there that day. So she is a very game. Fillion has some speed to her.
Got some speed to her and a good stat, and I'm expecting that horse to run well. Used it on my ticket. The other horse I used was the 3 Lucy in Disguise. Claimant tag sliced in half. She stalked. She finished 5th. It was an open claimer at the $25,000 level. More importantly, John Service, just been having a good meet. You got it right there in second.
I do as well. And 2 starts back, I thought it was a very impressive third against 2 next out winners when breaking from the far outside post. Class drop should be key.
Let's go to race number 7. 7 furlongs, maiden claimers, fillies and mares, 3 and up, $12,500. Scratch number 8, the blonde. I went with the number 7 in here, case dismissed. You started it with the 5, Hola Princess. We got our exacta flip-flop.
And I think that these are the 2 logical horses. I wouldn't single in on either one of them. No, case dismissed is a horse that's just had a hard time getting to the winner's circle. Been knocking on the door. 5 out of 6 starts have been in the money finishes. She was beaten at 70 cents to the dollar last time out. So I did go with Hola Princess. Back to the dirt after trying 9 furlongs on the turf last time out. I like her better on the dirt, and I think maybe just after that surface switch, going to go back to the dirt now, and Tyler Gaffleone up.
Yeah, I think we both had the 8, the blonde, on our ticket. I scratched into the 4, Hannah's Dream, you the 3. I think those are the logical 2 in race number 7. Now, race 8, 1 mile and 1/16 on the turf. It's an allowance optional claimer, 3-year-olds and up, but they could run for the optional claiming price of $25,000. We do have a scratching of number 6, Who's the Drama, and main track only. Wasn't taken out by the time we went on the air, but Peter L will be here to update you on that stuff. I went with the 1, and so did you, and that's Galleon Mass.
I did, and this horse was ultra game last time out. In fact, he is always ultra game, and unfortunately has just found some bad luck on the racetrack, but I thought that was a huge performance last time.
Yeah, we're going to go back and just show you the stretch run. He turns for home to the wire. He just sweeps up, and you're going to see him. He is the number 2 that day, and there you could let it run there, and I just thought he was inside. Now he makes this move. You can stop it right there, and you can just see right here, he makes this really nice move, and you can run it now, and you'll just see him go on. And I just thought it was a really good performance on his part. Now, the part I liked about it best, you see this is turning out to be a 3-horse race right now in the blanket finish, and they're just coming to the wire. And who's game in here? They're all game, and they just hit the wire basically at the same time. Almost comes back to win it, and off that performance, put this one on top.
Yes, he actually, right after the wire, he needed like 4 more steps, and he would have gotten the win, I think. But so very game, as I said earlier. And we'll show a trainer stat on David Fox in the past 5 years. Turf Roots in the money last time out at the optional claiming level. 7 for 30, 23% win, and 53% of the time in the money. A nearly even ROI of 196, but he does do a great job getting these horses to take that next step forward.
Now, we both picked the number 1 in here, and boy, the number 3 is hard not to have on your ticket refer. Stretching out today to 1 mile and a 16th after returning from that 2-month of freshening to Notch's 4th consecutive victory when defeating this level of competition, going 7.5 furlongs. This one is not afraid to get its picture taken. Jason Service, Nick Juarez, strictly the one to fear in here off that 4 consecutive victories.
He is. I could actually even see it kind of being a blanket finish again today in this race, because in the last 3 starts since Refer was claimed by Jason Service, he's not won by big margins. He always gets there just in the nick of time. He's a really fun horse to watch, and that really nice late kick from him, but you absolutely have to respect him. I do want to mention the number 8, Terry's Charm. It's a long shot play for me in here today. He's 10-1 in the morning line, and to say he had a bad trip last time would be an understatement of the century. He was just in tight early. There were horses banging around. He had to go a little bit wide to try and avoid some of that trouble. He was a little bit rank early on, but then when he tried to avoid that trouble, he ended up getting stuck behind a wall of horses and then was rolling on really late. And so I thought that it was a huge performance from him, and I did end up including him on my Pick 5 ticket as well.
Yeah, and I got a long shot in there that I wasn't really that enamored with, but I'm going to have him because he got the rolling super high 5 5 in this race, and that's Juan and Bina. And I think this should be primed and ready to offer more. He returned from a layoff. He got beat only 3.5 lengths. It was his career debut on the turf at this level. He's worth a second look at a price, because I thought maybe they finally found something going to the turf that he would run well.
And he did need something to change. He actually comes out of that same race that I was talking about with Terry's Charm. The winner, Adventist, came from dead last, and that was his first time trying the turf. So maybe a little bit of an interesting race to go back and watch again.
Well, race number 9 this afternoon is a 1-mile allowance optional claimer. Fillies and mares 4-year-olds and up, or the optional claiming price of $62,500. And this, to me, was a head scratcher. And every time I say that, we have the same horse on top of our ticket. Now, I guess Linda Mimi is the right one. A well-meant second at this level and distance, 2 starts back, hoping to rebound after finishing third last out when trying the same level and distance. Just didn't fire that well last time out.
She didn't, but she was beaten by a horse that was absolutely going to win that race, an apology not accepted. And poor Meadow Rose, the second place finisher, was just trying and trying and trying to make up ground behind apology not accepted, and there was just no doing that. So I think that you can respect Linda Mimi off of that. She's definitely got some backlash to her after her maiden. They even put her right into Grade 1 company. Now, she doesn't meet the easiest field, though it is a small field, but she's got some really hard-knocking mares like Concealed with a Kiss and Tormenta de Oro to face.
Yeah, she was dueling with her last time out and faded to finish 4th behind her, so I think that she can be right there at the wide. And the other one, like you mentioned, Tormenta de Oro, hoping to find a little more for the stretch run, stalked, but it was 16 optional claimers. The winner of the Glass Slipper here during December has the back class needed to make this one a tough race. And yeah, I found this race so wide open.
I did as well, but interesting to see we both gave Linda Mimi one more shot.
Let's go to race number 10, our final race on today's card, and it is 1 mile and 1/8 on the turf. Maiden claiming 3-year-olds, $25,000, and we're going to have a full field of 10 runners to end the day. So we'll have the Super High Five and, of course, the last leg of the Rainbow Six. And as we told you, we both singled this horse on our tickets, her in the pick 5, me on the Rainbow Six, and that's Chasing the Dream, who's wheeling back at the same level and distance after setting some really nice fractions. Now, I want to go back and show you this horse as they turn for home in this particular race. Now, what I want to do right here is just let it run for a second and now stop it. And what I want to do is spotlight that. They went pretty quick the first. You see, 23, 44, 47 to 58. This horse was on the lead. Now we can start it up again. And I just thought this horse ran a bang-up race, was on the lead, was the number 3 there. And you just see her on the lead right there. No reason to stop it, because I just thought setting those fractions there, you got her at the wire, but she fought back gamely. And he fought back gamely. I just thought it was a game performance after those swift early fractions.
Yes, indeed. And I think another thing that really pushes him over the edge in this race is that he has experience and has fared well at the 9 furlong distance. That's what that was, going 1 1/8 last time. He was beaten just by 3/4 of a length. He tried to wire the field and take them the whole way. There is actually, I believe, just one other horse in Golden Decision who comes out of that same race, but was a distant 4th, who ran at the 9 furlongs. But I think that really gives him an advantage. Certainly can handle the distance. He's got the speed. He was beaten by Leopard Cat, who was had taken a significant drop in class prior to that. I absolutely think he's the one to beat in here.
Well, we certainly do, because we both singled him in there. Now, the horse you went with in second is the 2 Family Justice. Drop it to this 25 level, stretching out to the distance you've been talking about, 9 furlongs. Followed that second place finish. That was at the 20 level with an ambitious 6th place finish. They stepped it right up to maiden special weight.
Snicker was ultra impressive in that maiden win last time out. Won by 4.5 lengths that day. And I'm going off of the debut race, which was against maiden $20,000 competition. I think that the step up in class, a little bit too much for him. Going to drop back down in here as well. And comes off of a mile work, actually. So looks like they're really getting ready for the stretch out.
And number 8, Arpanella, who we both have on our ticket, is stretching out to this 1 1/8 distance of rallying to finish second. That was similar, going 7.5. Third start back from the layoff, stretching out in distance. I think this horse is going to run very, very well in there. I don't know what he is on the morning line. I don't think he's won 5 to 1 or 6 to 1, something like that. Yeah, so I think a horse that you got to use somewhere on the ticket.
And certainly could as well. I do respect him. I also threw on the number 10, Last Lightning. A little bit of intrigue in this horse, who tried the turf for the first time last out. He was bumped around early on, and then he was closing very strongly in that race, actually finishing just a nose behind Arpanella. So I think if you're like Arpanella, you do have to look at Last Lightning a little bit, and maybe he gets a little bit of a cleaner break today.
Well, that's our look at the Thursday card. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back, but before us, Pete Aiello, our track announcer, will come up here and update you on all the scratches and changes you need to have a winning day at Gulfstream Park.
We have to take care of these horses that, give us so much joy.